It's 2026. We want to know what a state of asylum is like.
Without a doubt, it is a challenging time, right? And so on the USCIS end, if you come in here with a tourist visa, student visa, you file an affirmative application, your case ends up with USCIS. What's happening with USCIS right now is there is what's called an asylum pause. Now, we're having interviews. So I go to the interview, and I ask the officer, okay, so at the end of the interview, they explain, okay, you're gonna get a decision via mail. All right, well, when is that gonna happen? Like, well, when the asylum pause is lifted. So the asylum officers are still working, they are still having the interview, they're deciding, they're adjudicating the matter, and they're putting it on a little line to be released as soon as the pause is lifted. So if somebody has a question, can I still apply for asylum? Absolutely. Our clients are still applying for asylum, they're still getting their receipts, they're still getting their work permits, but the actual decision itself from USCIS is on a pause. That results in some frustration. But some clients are like, look, I have my work permit, I can wait. So that gives people some peace of mind to know that they're here lawfully, and that is nice. If you are in immigration court, we have not seen the asylum pause apply to that. So our cases are still getting adjudicated.
On this topic of asylum, automatic extensions just got canceled.
Yes.
How does that affect the people who are in asylum?
If there is a lapse or a gap between one work permit and the other, of course, as immigration lawyers, I cannot tell you to work, right? But if people do, does that affect their asylum claim? Absolutely not. Let me tell you what will affect your asylum claim is if you work without a work permit, and then you tell the officer, no, during that period I didn't work. But it was a long time, it was a long period, and they're like, no, I don't believe it. And they end up discovering or finding out that you did work. It affects your credibility. So tell the truth. You can disclose it. It's not a bar to asylum having worked without legal authorization. We know it's frustrating. We know that the time that they would give for the work permits before it was 5 years. I think now it's less now.
Yeah.
So these things are frustrating, but keep in touch with your lawyer, and your lawyers will guide you through this process.
How do you win an asylum case?
To build this case, it's either you've been persecuted in the past, or there's something about your behavior now or about your life history now here in America that leads you to believe you're probably going to get persecuted if you go back to your country. So for example, a lot of our clients never got persecuted in their home country, but because they came here and they expressed their opinion or they found religion that's not really accepted in their home country, they were able to get a claim. So you have to prove that you're credible. Right? It's not just, I joined the church just for the status, right? So they're always going to look at it, the immigration officer, the prosecutor, the judge, they're going to ask, did they join this church? Did they join this political organization just for the claim? And how do you rebut that? Well, I mean, genuineness. And, you go often and you have these witnesses and you have prominent people in the community willing to give you affidavits or even willing to go to court with you, right? To show that, look, this person is not here to waste your time. They're very legitimate. And then we go to country conditions and show that the conditions, similarly situated people are really getting persecuted and having a very hard time in that home country. So it's about credibility, it's about evidence, and evidence is hard for asylum, right? It's not the persecutor is going to give you evidence saying, yeah, if they come back, I'm going to, in some cases we have, that kind of ironclad evidence. Most cases we don't. So it's about affidavit, it's about picture, it's about medical reports, psychiatric reports, whatever you can get your hands on. Social media posts, either somebody posted something about you or the kind of post that you make would lead somebody to believe that if you go back to your country, you're likely to get persecuted. So it's making a credible case with the evidence and making a judge comfortable that the subjective component of the case, your story, is true, is credible, and you are really in that group that is going to get persecuted. And then it's linking it to what's happening in the home country. Are you more likely than not to be persecuted? Or is the government, they'll turn a blind eye? Or is it something that happens only every once in a while? The probability isn't high enough for me to say, if you go back, you're probably going to get persecuted. Can asylum cases be won? Can you win an asylum case in 2026? And the answer is yes. There are some challenges. If you came in through the border unlawfully, we call that in immigration world EWI, entering without inspection. Can you still get it? Yes, but there are additional hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. Not everybody can, so maybe for a lot of those people, the most they can expect is withholding of removal. But we have gotten some cases, even for EWIs, they won asylum. So it's very possible. It is harder, but you can still do it. Prepare a great case, make sure everything is legit and airtight, and you give yourself the best possible chance of winning your claim.